Welcome to Revolutionary Minds, the architects of American liberty. Today's focus, John Adams, a foundational figure in American independence and the nation's second president. Discover Adams' journey from a bold Boston lawyer to a key drafter of the Declaration of Independence and a decisive president. His story, marked by steadfast principles and intellectual depth, is a powerful testament to leadership and conviction. Join us in John Adams, the resolute voice of revolution and justice, as we explore the life of a man who helped forge a nation. Let's kickstart our journey into the past with John Adams, a figure often remembered for his political savvy. But there's so much more to his story. Picture a young Adams, not just as a budding politician, but as a linguistic aficionado, mastering languages the way today's tech wizards code in multiple programming languages. Adams's linguistic prowess was more than an academic pursuit. It was a window into different cultures and a tool that would later prove indispensable in the diplomatic arena. This aspect of Adams gives us a glimpse into the multidimensional nature of historical figures, showing us that they were not just one-trick ponies, but had varied interests and talents. Imagine the edge you'd have in an international Fortnite tournament if you could strategize in multiple languages. That was Adams with his multilingual abilities. His fluency in French was more than just a party trick. It was a strategic asset during his diplomatic missions in France and the Netherlands. By speaking the language, Adams could engage directly with key figures, enhancing mutual understanding and respect. Latin and Greek were his gateways into the ancient world, offering insights that influenced his views on governance and democracy. Adams's linguistic skills allowed him to tap into a diverse spectrum of thoughts and philosophies, enriching his worldview and bolstering his role as a diplomat and a thinker. Now, let's step into Adams' Harvard years. Imagine a campus where the air is thick with ideas of revolution and change. Adams wasn't just attending lectures. He was engaging with concepts that would later ignite the flame of a nation. Harvard exposed Adams to Enlightenment thinkers who championed ideas like natural rights, social contracts, and representative governments. These weren't just abstract concepts. They were radical, transformative ideas that questioned the very fabric of societal structures. Adams' education at Harvard equipped him with a philosophical and ideological arsenal that would later shape his contributions to the American Revolution and the founding of a new nation. In a time when the moral compass on slavery was grossly misaligned, Adams stood out with his progressive stance. His opposition to slavery was more than just a political position. It was a moral standpoint. Adams saw the blatant contradiction between fighting for liberty while denying it to others. His stance was a bold move in a society where slavery was deeply entrenched and widely accepted. This part of Adams's story is particularly resonant today, as it echoes the timeless struggle for justice and equality. It reminds us that standing for what's right is not always easy, but it's necessary for true progress and change. As we delve deeper into the life of John Adams, think about this. How do our backgrounds and educations shape our views and actions? How do we, like Adams, use our knowledge and beliefs to make a stand in our own lives? Before he stepped onto the political stage, John Adams was Mr. Adams, the schoolteacher. Picture this, a young Adams standing before a classroom of rowdy kids in colonial Massachusetts. This wasn't just a job, it was a formative experience that grounded him in the realities of everyday colonial life. Imagine a teacher who's more than just about textbooks and homework, one who understands the pulse of society and the minds of the youth. Adams's stint in teaching gave him a unique perspective on the community he would later serve as a leader. It was in this humble setting that he began to cultivate the qualities of patience, understanding, and a keen insight into human nature. The call of the legal world soon beckoned, and Adams made a career switch that would set the stage for his future. Swapping the classroom for the courtroom, Adams dove into the world of law. This wasn't a mere career change. It was a transition into an arena where his intellectual prowess and ethical compass could truly shine. Think of this as leveling up in a game where the stakes are real: justice, rights, and the emerging American legal system. Adams' legal career was marked by his sharp mind and a growing belief in the principles of justice and liberty. It's here in the courts and legal chambers that his political and legal philosophies began to take shape. Enter the Boston Massacre trial, a high-stakes drama where Adams took center stage in a most unexpected role. In 1770, when anti-British sentiment was at a fever pitch, Adams chose to defend the British soldiers accused in the Boston Massacre. This move was like playing on hard mode, defending the unpopular side, facing public outcry, and standing up for what he believed was right. Adams's defense was a masterclass in upholding the rule of law and justice, even when it was unpopular. This trial was a testament to his commitment to fair representation and due process, showcasing his integrity and bravery. Now let's talk about a power couple, John and Abigail Adams. Behind every great man, as they say, is a great woman, and Abigail was much more than that. She was a partner, confidant, and intellectual equal to Adams. Their relationship was the 18th century version of a power couple. Through letters brimming with political discourse, personal reflection, and mutual respect, they influenced and shaped each other's views. Abigail's intellect and insight had a profound impact on Adams, offering him perspectives that enriched his understanding of society, politics, and human rights. Their correspondence offers a window into a partnership that was ahead of its time, based on mutual respect and intellectual synergy. As we continue to explore Adams's journey, think about the roles that mentorship, partnership, and ethical challenges play in shaping a leader. How do our experiences and the people we encounter mold our views and actions? Flashback to the American Revolution, and there's John Adams, not on the battlefield, but in the sophisticated courts of Europe. It's 1778, and Adams is across the pond, playing a crucial role in securing support for the American cause. Imagine this like a high-stakes diplomatic version of Among Us, where Adams is navigating alliances, suspicion, and intrigue. His mission? To win over Europe's power players to the American side. Adams wasn't just a diplomat. He was a strategist. His time in France, and later in the Netherlands and Great Britain, showcased his ability to negotiate, persuade, and navigate complex political landscapes. His efforts were instrumental in securing vital loans and formal recognition, key to keeping the revolution alive back home. Fast forward to 1783, and we find Adams in the thick of negotiating the Treaty of Paris, which would end the American Revolution and recognize American independence. Picture this like the final round of a championship game, where every move counts. Adams, with his fellow diplomats, Benjamin Franklin and John Jay, was playing for the highest stakes, the future of a nation. His diplomatic acumen was on full display as he navigated the delicate negotiations, balancing the demands of the British with the aspirations of the American colonies. Adams' role in these negotiations was a blend of firmness and finesse, helping to secure favorable terms for the newly independent United States. Back on American soil, Adams was vocal about something that made many of his contemporaries uneasy: a strong federal government. In an age where the memory of British tyranny was still fresh, advocating for central authority was like suggesting more homework in school, not popular. But Adams saw things differently. He believed that without a robust central government, the nation risked falling into chaos or returning to colonial subjugation. Adams' advocacy for a strong federal government was crucial in shaping the debates around the Constitution and the future direction of the United States. Let's get personal with Adams for a moment. During his diplomatic missions, his personality shone through. Known for being straightforward and sometimes lacking diplomatic tact, Adams was a contrast to the more flexible and charming Benjamin Franklin. But it was this very directness that often worked in his favor. In negotiations, Adams was known for his integrity and refusal to play political games. Anecdotes from his time in Europe paint a picture of a man who was fiercely intelligent, sometimes stubborn, but always unwavering in his commitment to American ideals. Think about the qualities that make a good leader or diplomat. How do Adams's diplomatic strategies and personal traits inform our understanding of effective leadership? Picture this: John Adams, post-presidency, not in a grand office, but out in the fields of his farm. It might seem off-brand for a former president, but for Adams, farming was more than just a hobby. It was a return to simplicity and virtue. Imagine the guy who once negotiated international treaties, now carefully tending to his crops. This connection to the land wasn't just about agriculture. It was about grounding himself in the foundational values he believed were key to America's success. Adams' passion for farming reflects his longing for a society rooted in hard work, self-sufficiency, and a connection to nature, ideals that resonate with anyone who's ever wanted to unplug and get back to basics. Adams wasn't just ahead of his time in politics and diplomacy, he also had a prophetic vision regarding one of America's most contentious issues: slavery. Long before the Civil War tore the nation apart, Adams foresaw the sectional tensions over slavery as a threat to the Union. His anti-slavery stance was more than just moral posturing. It was a deep understanding of the fundamental conflict between the nation's ideals of liberty and the reality of human bondage. Adams' views on slavery spotlight his ability to see the big picture and predict the challenges that lay ahead for America. Wrapping up our deep dive into Adams' life, let's reflect on the imprint he left on American society. His policies and beliefs, from advocating a strong federal government to standing against slavery, have echoed through the halls of American history. Adams' influence is seen in the structures of governance, the ideals of justice, and the pursuit of a more equitable society. His legacy is not just in the documents he helped to create or the policies he implemented. It's in the enduring spirit of inquiry, integrity, and foresight that he embodied. Now, I want to throw a challenge your way. Dive deeper into the stories of the Founding Fathers, like Adams. Explore their complexities, their contradictions, and their contributions. Understanding figures like Adams gives us a richer, more nuanced view of American history. It shows us that these were not just characters in a history book, but real people who grappled with big ideas and left a legacy that still impacts us today. In closing, John Adams' story is a tapestry of political brilliance, visionary insights, and human complexities. From his diplomatic triumphs to his advocacy for justice and his foresight into America's challenges, Adams remains a towering figure in American history. His life and legacy offer lessons that are still relevant in our modern world, about leadership, integrity, and the continuous struggle for a better society. John Adams, the farmer, the diplomat, the visionary, a figure forever part of the narrative of the USA. Thank you for joining us on this journey through the life and times of John Adams. His story is a reminder of the enduring impact one person can have on the course of history. Make sure to check out the rest of this series, The Founders of Freedom, Revolutionary Minds. And don't forget to like and share this video if it sparked your curiosity about one of America's most influential figures.